Yes. It's it. The only thing you need to do is you stand on the silver. Water to move the air. You have when you come to teach,
Right.
How are you?
How are you doing?
Zero. You think it's. Yeah.
I try not to remind all the people speaking in life.
She's in Florida. We're shaking it. No, you don't smell it. If you wanna.
Am I here?
I don't know. There, yep. That one's in here, your spot. I'm gonna take it to the mouth. But Ann is not here, so if you want that. Slide over. Your name.
Johnny, when you sit there, I can hit you. Yeah, scoot over.
Yeah, that's, so normally when someone's not here, he's just like. She is here. She's in the spirit opposite, but I'm still dancing, then for you to.
Just told Ann.
Well, at 6 o'clock, I'd like to call this council meeting to order, Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. Can everybody hear us okay? On the back row, we've got the thumbs up, so thank you. I'd like to welcome those honored guests and everybody we'd love to have this kind of participation every week or every council meeting, so please come back. I'm Mayor Steve Gibson, and this is my first one, so bear with me. I've done a few mayor pro tem, but never with it all on my shoulders. So anyway, thank you very much. We would like to open with a pledge of allegiance and an opening prayer, reading or expression of thought, and I'll be doing that today. So will the audience please rise and repeat the pledge of allegiance after me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our dear kind Heavenly Father, we're indeed thankful for this opportunity we have to serve the residents of Pleasant View this time. We're thankful for the past leadership and for the future leadership and council members that have agreed to accept this responsibility for this short time. We're thankful indeed for the residents of Pleasant View and for their goodness. We're thankful for our first responders, our police officers, and those who run in first to harm's way. We ask thee to be with them as they do their jobs. We're thankful for this land that we have to live in and the opportunities that we have. Please be with and protect Pleasant View. Help us to make those right decisions that will benefit us and our community for the future. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen. Item number 2. Hopefully you've had an opportunity to look at the agenda, and are there any conflicts of interest that you'd like to report?
None here.
Seeing none, we'll We have public comments for the mayor and the city council, and that's 3 minutes. And that's for anything that's really not on the agenda under a public hearing. Anybody would like to speak? Thank you. Seeing none, we'll go on to the swearing in and welcome to the newly elected mayor and city council members. And we'll do that part, and then we'll go on to the second part of item number 2. Ms. Laurie?
First pretend. Raise your right hand. After me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Utah,
and that I will discharge the duty of my office with fidelity.
and that I will discharge the duty of my office with fidelity. Duties.
So we already scored you before.
The duties will do whatever the.
I will have you sign.
Thank you. This.
We use the microphone, I don't know if it can or not. I don't know, if everybody can hear us.
You guys here?
Can I have my special guest come and stand by me?
I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and the Constitution of the state of Utah,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity. Just the signature?
Just sign here.
Oh. Thank you.
Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and the Constitution of the state of Utah,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
So. Position, men or?
City council, mayor, you city council.
Okay.
Welcome, Dallas, take a picture. Well, I don't know, Anne's not here.
We can do it later,
Oh,
but
let's
sure,
do it.
you guys, for sure, you three.
Okay.
And your spouses,
Yeah.
spouses, family members too, if you want.
Just you guys.
Let's see, you can help me. Yeah, my feet, but-
Yes, I do. Get all the spouses together. Okay.
I want to welcome these two gentlemen. I think they're quality people and will do a very good job for Pleasant View. So having said that, we have some quality people that have left us, deserted us for other things. Phil, would you come forward up the front? Here's your mic. That's why I do it. I knew there was a plaque. You know, Phil, I didn't know him before he got on the council, but I quickly knew him very well for his intelligence, and I could look at him as a lawyer, as always knew what to say. And that was represented himself very well, and he was a great asset to the city council for the last 4 years. He's a busy man, and I'm glad that he shared some of that time with us. It's a pleasure. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. That is a long walk. Get my steps. So, Mayor Call, stand up, please. Come up to the podium here. I'm going to say a few things and then we'll have some to do in just a minute. But Mayor Call, again, 8 years ago, I knew him. I knew a little bit about him, but I really didn't understand the goodness that he represented. And I quickly became a friend, and he was a confidant and really a mentor for me, really what was good about Pleasant View. He loved Pleasant View. He loved the family aspect, and all those things just aligned, and I feel honored to call him a friend. And I really appreciate what you've done. And just by the room being full here, I think a lot of these are supporters and people that want to wish you well. So, Mayor, we have just our whole heart is for thankfulness for the things that you've been able to do and will continue to do. I've told him that I want to be able to call him and have him. We've already assigned him a Founder's Day project of cooking hot dogs. So I don't know if you've invited your wife to help you with that, but he's the official Founder's Day hot dog cooker. So, and he accepted that. Actually, I think you volunteered for that job, right? Anyway, we have your name badge. We have a little plaque here. And really, I think the best thing that you get out of this, and I look forward to the Gibson Boulevard.
Help and the learn to serve with you. It's been fun. We've had some good times together, and you're a great example, and I really appreciate all that you've done. It's good. Hope to see you a lot helping us out.
I want to say that I really do appreciate you. You've taught me a lot. And some of my most memorable things is when the gravel pit trucks Mayor Call had one of the best solutions when that was such a prevalent problem, is to sit down with Butters, not Butters, excuse me, Staker Parsons, and to, come to a reasonable solution to get those trucks off the road. And it was through your calm and collected leadership that happened. And I really, that's just one of several instances that I learned from your example. And I'm really grateful for that example. And I'm grateful for your leadership and all that you have taught me. And I'm glad that you'll still be around to help us all out. And I appreciate your service. Thank you.
Bill, anything, and any words from you? I don't know, kind of,
I said, it's amazing somebody's willing to do the mayor job. The job is one thing, the mayor is another. We're very lucky to have had Mayor Call. Knew more about this city than the rest of us will ever.
Johnny, you guys good?
I've worked
Can you
with
guys
Mayor
hear me,
Call in
Steve?
different
sorry.
capacity. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we'll have you in just a second. Well, no, let's let Ann go. Sorry. And I apologize. See, first mistake. Dan, I keep track of this. Ann Arrington is joining from lands far away, so we welcome her here. Thank you. And we can hear you, Ann. Yes, go ahead.
Oh, awesome. Sorry to jump in there, but just wanted to give a quick shout out for Mayor Call. It's been such a pleasure serving with you, Mayor. And I got to sit right next to him. So I just love his sense of humor and also his ability to take on a complex situation and diffuse it. I thought he was really good at that. I love the look he gives you when he's like, I'm ready for emotion. You can just see it in his eye. But such a pleasure to get to know you, Mayor. Thank you for your service, and Pleasant View City is better off with your service. So thank you so much.
Okay, Sean, let's go. Sean and John.
Yeah, I've worked with Mayor Call in a little bit different capacity in my role at Weber County. And whether it was coming here to the city, meeting with Pleasant View at WACOG, wherever it was, you have always been supportive of what was right. And I've always appreciated that about you. So thank you for your quiet leadership and always wanting to do the right thing. So I appreciate it.
Mayor Call was one of the first to greet me with a smile when we moved to this community some time ago. And you definitely have to recognize him, but don't forget, it's his wife who's really the charmer back there. So.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mayor.
Yeah, I know you got a big agenda, so I'm only gonna take like a minute. Just thank you to the citizens. They say, are you gonna miss it? I'm gonna miss the people. Love the people, love everybody I work with, love the people. It's just, what a wonderful community. Special thanks. I cannot thank my family and my wife enough for their support. And some of them, remember when I got an 8-year-old grandson as a mayor. They've just been awesome. To those that I've worked with, the staff, the council, and the many other council members that I have the honor to work with. Thank you so much for your caring for this great community. It is a wonderful community. It takes wonderful people who really love one another to support the community with the great love that we have there. There's just no place like Pleasant View. I just thank you so much for your willingness to serve, and you new ones, Steve, for your willingness to step up and do this. It's a different job, and he's already found that out. Being on council, we've had some meetings, and he's like, this is different, and it is. But you will do great. You will all do great. I have the utmost faith in you, and thank you for your faith and trust in me.
Thanks, Mayor.
We would like to take about a 10-minute recess to enjoy, but we're going to be here till 9:30, and I'm probably going to be 10 or 10:30 by the time we're done. So we really would like to just end the recess at 6:30. So please enjoy some cookies. No, we need to have some time to celebrate and
We need to reach the player.
Honey, I was wrong. It's 23. I said 18. What? Yes. Well.
My charger in the car, give me a raise.
I'm gonna need it. Right.
Yeah. I'm going, good, and you're probably all good enough to see it. Yeah, thank you so much. Well, my friend, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I love it. That's okay. I'll just be.
What's this?
Well, so about.
Thank you. Sit around. Yeah, but you know. People don't see you like this. Yeah. Now it's stuff that goes on. Yeah, oh, you can spot on. Hey, thank you so much. So we someday. Yes. Yeah, thanks for coming. I. Always a pleasure. It's always me.
Either excuse you or sit down.
Hope she said it.
Maybe see it.
Guarantee you're gonna need.
And I've got a plate of cookies for you if you're still there. All right, I'd like to call this meeting back to order, please.
Yeah, I'll take you up on cookies.
Okay, we are going to adjust the agenda. We're going to move item number 12 up to will be, I guess, 3. We're going to move that up. This is discussion of possible action to accept the contract for attorney services to Matt Wilson and Brody Flint. Andrea.
So we got word from our attorney, Mike Houts, that he was working towards retirement and we needed to go about finding a new attorney. We sent out an RFP, RFQ and got proposals in. After reviewing the proposals, we met with Matt Wilson and Brody Flint and are pleased with their qualifications and experience and would recommend approval of their contract. Brody is here if you have any questions or want him to introduce himself.
While he's coming up, it was my privilege to meet with them. And I was really right off the bat, my kind of people. So I appreciate that because I think, as Andrea talked about, we need somebody that we can work with and really be able to ask some questions and have some honest answers. And I really felt comfortable with the way you did. But would you please just briefly introduce yourself to the council? I'm sure they're gonna have a few questions to ask you.
Happy to answer any questions. You can pull that mic out if you want.
Pull it out so that you're.
Just take it out. I'll just hold it. Yeah, there you go.
A new one on me. Yes, so my name is Brody Flint. My colleague Matt Wilson is in the happiest place on earth, depending on who you ask. His family got a trip to Disneyland for Christmas, so he couldn't make it tonight. But yes, we've both attorneys work in city government currently. We recently kind of formalized what we've been doing for a couple of years is helping other cities, smaller cities. We have a few special service districts and a couple other entities that provide government and nonprofit work that we help out. I've been doing local government for almost 9 years now on both. I started before that in the criminal realm, but kind of transferred over to the city stuff. I've worked in all aspects of local government, not saying I know everything, but our goal and what we hope to help the city with is to find the answers. If we don't know it, we're going to tell you we don't know the answer and we'll go find it. We enjoyed certainly our conversation with the mayor and Andrea. And we kind of told them, I'm one that if you ask a question, I'm going to answer it as directly and honestly as possible. That's not always liked by everyone. I tell people all the time, I am not smart enough to lie, so I don't do it. That's just how I operate. Matt is a much more jovial character than I am. He'll probably make a few more jokes. But he's very sharp, and we balance each other really well. He's good at some of the things I'm maybe not as good at, and I'm better at some of the things that aren't maybe his strongest suit. So we balance each other really well, and our goal is to be part of this city, not to just be someone you call, once quarterly because there's some random emergency. We want to work with the city so that you don't have to make that call, and hope that we're doing everything right and advising and helping out the city as best we can. We didn't put in for this or bid this to just be a dire call and emergency. We want to be part of the team here and help out. So happy to answer any questions like you have.
Everything else?
I just will mention that in the section 1, the scope of services 1.1, I discussed shortly before the meeting, and we are going to add the line of review and or draft ordinances, city ordinances into this scope. That was discussed, and I think it was just something that was looked in with that addition.
I just have a quick question. How do you divide your workload and who does what kind of thing?
Yeah, we're fortunate enough that we both get along well. And the ultimate answer is we divide it to get the job done correctly. Certain things, reviewing contracts and some agreements are going to go with Wilson because he does a lot of those and specializes with those. Some of the employment issues, hopefully those are few and far between. But I have kind of focused on that for the last few years. So that would be my area. But ultimately the city can get a hold of either one of us and it will work out. We don't have you're only going to do this, you're going to do that. Okay. Just like tonight, I think our plan moving forward is that Wilson would be at this council meeting. I would be at the later one in the month, but where he's on vacation, I'm here. I appreciate you moving up as I have another commitment, but going forward, we'll both be there and we both communicate. We talk 6 days a week, and sometimes 7. So we'll just get it done.
So then as far as the agreement here, we're talking for it's indefinite, a monthly agreement, right? It is year to year, because I didn't see the years in that, so. Okay, I saw the 30-day termination and it's a month to month. Is it?
Yep.
Yeah, it's 3.1.
This agreement shall continue year to year.
Oh, year to year. Okay. All right, good. All right. Yeah, I'm good. No.
So my understanding of the contract is that we pay a flat fee and that you're available for services with whatever we need you for that.
Yeah, there's some definite exemptions in the contract that we don't do. A lot of that would kick in when your trust attorneys are going to kick in, but there's a couple of specializations that we don't do, which is pretty general. For instance, bond counsel, we're not going to act as bond counsel because we're not bond attorneys. And
Right.
That's one of those arenas we don't. So yeah, pretty much general things that come up in the city, we're going to handle. And we would also coordinate in the event that a lawsuit goes to the trust or there needs to be outside litigation counsel. We would help the city make sure we have a good fit and then also kind of monitor that under this contract and under what we do.
Be present at the city council meetings.
Yes, our plan is to be here.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Just a quick question too. I don't know if you can disclose or not, but what other businesses, organizations, or cities that you're part of or representing?
Give me a second, I gotta make sure I can. Yeah, they're all public. So we help. I work full-time for Roy City. I'm the assistant city manager there.
Okay.
And then we help Harrisville, Hooper actually just barely. We've been helping them. Warren, West Warren Water District, I've helped them for over 10 years now. Basically, my adopted grandpa, I call him, is on the board and asked me to help one day. So we've been figuring out water law a little bit for a while. And then Harrisville, we help Harrisville as well.
Okay. Were you born and raised here?
I grew up in Layton.
In Layton?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Matt grew up in West Haven.
Okay.
Not that it really matters, but Matt's dad was the chief civil deputy for Weber County for about 25 years as an attorney. Was been around this area forever. So,
Are you concerned about workload and overwhelming with the amount of
What, I mean, always, the one thing I say about that, we didn't put this in to not do a good job, right? We're planning on the work and we're planning on managing that. The one thing about workload for attorneys is it kind of comes and goes. There's times that we're super busy and times that we're not. But currently, no, we're planned our lives and our schedules to be able to give, full faith effort in what we're doing here and to be available.
Mayor, make a motion that we approve the attorney service contract with Matt Wilson and Brody Flint for Pleasant View City.
I'll second that motion.
With the addition.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, with the addition of 1.1, I guess that would be I. Which is what is it? Ordinance review.
Yes.
Re-
I'll second that.
Okay,
one.
we have a motion and a second. On favor?
Aye.
That
Aye.
is Sarah. Sorry, do you want me to state the name for the
Yeah,
record?
sorry, I'm gonna jump in real quick. This actually has to be a roll call. because you're struggling to find-
Wow,
Looky there. It's our start.
I got us already.
Johnny,
Yes.
Thanks for being our attorney. Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Don.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
okay, that's unanimous. Thank you. We look forward to working with you. I think we discussed a lot of things that I didn't want to waste tonight, but I think it's going to be a good experience for us.
Do you have any
Thank you.
cards you could leave with us or anything
Yeah,
like that?
I'll leave some. Andrea has our email and contact information for us.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right, we'll go back to the big deal, and I told him the Reader's Digest version, because we all do good, but we're gonna turn the time over. Our audit report is Corey Uri. with-
Consent.
Oh, did we not do consent? Oh, my gosh.
No,
No.
we did.
We did consent.
You're doing.
Dana, there's second mistake. One more and I'm done.
She's gonna leave, Ben, third one.
Yeah, okay, we'll go back to item number 3. I'm sorry, I wanted to get those attorney services in first. Consent items of minutes of December 9th, 2025. Everybody had a chance to look at those, and what's your thoughts?
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve the consent items for December 9, 2025.
Motion by Marriott,
Second.
second by
By
Johnny,
me, yes.
Ferry. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Was that a delayed yay?
Yeah, delayed. I'm an aye. I'm in favor.
Okay, but that passes. Thank you. All right, now, Dave, is it okay if we go to the audit report?
I think we can go to audit report.
Corey, I think we all have that here in front of us.
Right, hello, my name is Corey. I'm with Child Richards, CPAs and advisors. We do the audit for the city. We've done the audit for a few years now. But this was the first year that I was part of the engagement team, working with Lori, Heather, everybody at the city. So I'll just go over a couple of the main items to touch on to bring to your attention. The first, on top of the financial statements, there should have been just a little letter kind of stapled together. This is what we call our communication with governance letter. It is not part of the financial statements itself, but is required by government auditing standards that we essentially have a separate letter communicating to the mayor and council that we've performed the audit for the governmental activities, business type activities, each major fund, and aggregate remaining fund information for the city, as well as communicating certain information. The first of that information is during the year, the city adopted GASB 101 compensated absences. So the Governmental Accounting Standards Board at the end of 2023 issued a new statement that required compensated absences liability that exists within the financial statements to not just represent a liability that would be owed to employees if they were terminated, whether willingly or on the city's end. But instead to accrue a liability of all reasonably estimable leave that would be taken. So if an employee had earned, say, 150 hours of paid time off, but the city policy was only to pay out up to 100 hours. The new statement would require the city to essentially estimate, do we think that somebody is going to use 125 hours of PTO from now until they leave? It leaves it very open-ended, just describing that it has to be a reasonable estimate. We communicated with management and worked on what that meant for the city. Lori, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's ended up being 100% of vacation, 100% of comp time, and 20% of sick leave. Does that sound about right? Okay. Now, that doesn't mean anything for your budget. Because this is a compensated absence liability, it just appears on the government-wide financials. Basically, the financial statements that we have to do once a year for the audit. In terms of the fund financial statements, general fund, water fund, when you're preparing a budget, it won't impact that really at all. So, but because it affects the government-wide financial statements and it's a new standard policy, we wanted to communicate to you what that standard entailed and that the city had adopted that and that into these statements. As well, other estimates that are impactful to the city are the useful life of capital assets. So how long a fixed asset will be depreciated over a period of time. Estimates involved with pensions that are handled on the Utah retirement systems side of things. This letter also details if there were any significant difficulties during the audit or any misstatements that were left uncorrected, any disagreements. There were none. It was great working with, like I said, Lori and Heather were the primary people we interacted with, but everyone was great. Then beneath the letter is just a listing of the journal entries that we proposed during the course of the audit, just to provide them to you. The only things that were out of the ordinary for a normal year would be entries number 5 and 9, both of which related to that adoption of GASB 101. It required essentially a retrospective review. So the 100%, 100%, 20% liability that had to be accrued had to be retroactively applied to last year's financial statements as well. So that's where those two entries are coming from. They are not expected to be future entries that show up. But all other entries on there, like entry number 7 is a large entry that relates to the URS update. That happens every year. It's nothing out of the ordinary. Moving on to the actual financial statements themselves, the bound report that you guys have in front of you. On page 1 is our independent auditor's report. First paragraph there is our opinions. So we've audited the accompanying financial statements of governmental activities, business type activities, each major fund, and aggregate remaining fund information of Pleasant View City as of and for the year ended June 30, 2025. In our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the respective financial position of the city. This is what we call an unmodified opinion. It's basically the clean opinion, the thumbs up that we can give as auditors for the audit. It discloses that we've conducted our audit in accordance with auditing standards generally accepted in the United States of America and standards applicable to financial audits contained in government auditing standards. It details the responsibilities of management for the preparation and fair presentation of the financial statements and for the design and implementation and maintenance of internal controls relevant to the preparation of the financial statements, as well as our responsibilities as auditors, which include to obtain reasonable assurance about the numbers contained in the financial statements. Reasonable assurance is a high level of assurance, but is not absolute assurance. that they contain no material misstatements, especially ones that may be more difficult to identify that would relate from fraud, containing collusion, forgery, things of that nature. But what we mean when we say a material misstatement or materially fairly presented is that their material misstatements exist if there would be a substantial likelihood that this misstatement, this difference, this uncaught item would substantially influence the judgment made by somebody who read the financial statements. As auditors, we also exercise professional judgment, maintain professional skepticism, identify and assess risks of material misstatements, obtain an understanding of internal control relevant to the audit, but not for the purpose of expressing an opinion on the city's internal controls, evaluate the appropriateness of accounting policies, and management and the auditors both evaluate if there are any concerns about the city's ability to continue operations within a year's period. There are no concerns as such. We identify certain required supplementary information, items that are contained in the financial statements that are required by governmental auditing standards, including management's discussion and analysis of the financials, budgetary comparison information, the schedule of proportionate share of net pension liability, schedule of contributions, and notes to the required supplementary information. We've applied certain limited procedures to this required supplementary information, but we do not express an opinion on it as we do to the financial statements as a whole. There's additionally other supplementary information that's contained that is not required but is deemed useful. The accompanying combining and individual non-major fund financial statements presented for additional analysis. And in our opinion, those additional items for the supplementary information are fairly stated in all material respects as well. Moving on to page 4, this is management's discussion and analysis. This is essentially a narrative breakdown of the year's financials for the city on a government-wide level. So during the 2025 fiscal year, governmental activities saw an increase in property taxes of 124,000, a decrease in interest of near 17,000, and an increase in sales and use tax of near 18,000. Sales taxes, property taxes, and franchise taxes now make up 60.4% of all governmental activity revenues. What we mean by governmental activities as opposed to business type activities, governmental activities are the functions of the city that are primarily supported by taxes and intergovernmental revenues. Business type activities are those that are intended to recover all or most of their costs through user fees and charges, like the stormwater, sewer, solid waste, and water funds for the city. On page 6, just a couple items to bring to your attention under overall financial analysis of the city. The city's total net position increased by $6,084,599, or 9.29% over the prior year. Net position change is akin to what you could call a net income for the year from a business perspective. The net position of governmental activities increased by 3.9 million and business type activities increased 2.1 million. The largest component of the city's net positions, 45.7 million, about just under 64%, reflects the investment in capital assets of the city. So land, buildings, less any debt that's outstanding related to those capital assets. Restricted net position comprises 9.8 million, or just under 14% of total net position. This is the net position of impact fees, any donor restricted contributions, state liquor funds, bonding, those amounts that are held by the city. And unrestricted net position at the end of the year was just shy of 16 million, about 22% of the net position. Unrestricted doesn't mean that it's not committed to certain funds or set to be used for certain things. It just means that there is no outside restriction held on what that money needs to be used for. On page 7, this is a overall financial analysis of the city from a numbers perspective. Just a couple large changes in account categories to keep you in mind of. Current and other assets. So these are assets that can be cash or accounts receivable at the end of the year, things that are intended to be or could be liquidated within a year's time to satisfy any pending obligations. That at the end of June 30, 2025 stood just over 29 million, so up 2.7 million from the year prior. Capital assets was up 3.2 million compared to the year prior. And then current and other liabilities that were owed as of the end of fiscal year 25 were down 238,000, and long-term liabilities were down 33,000 compared to the year prior. Significant increases in capital assets of government and business type activities combined for the 3.2 million described there below. On page 8, this is the changes in net position, so akin to like the city's income statement almost. On there, a couple of changes or from the prior year to just draw your eye to. Operating grants decreased by over 800,000 compared to the year prior, but capital grants increased by 2.8 million compared to the year prior. Nearly all expense categories went down compared to 2024. On page 9.
Can I catch it?
Yeah.
On 8,
Yeah.
over there in 2025, under the total revenues,
Yep.
it's got 5, it should be 15, is that right?
Yep, that's
Okay.
correct. I think
Alright.
something got cut off with the table because the rest of it,
Yeah, it kind of looks like that,
Close.
yeah.
but
Okay.
yeah.
All right, just making sure.
Yeah. On page 9, you can see that actual expenditures of the general fund for the city for the year were, including transfers out of the general fund, were just over $6 million for the year. And it was $862,000 below final budgeted expenditures. So came in under budget for the year. You can see the fund transfers that the general fund made: 500,000 to equipment replacement, 200,000 to the roads fund, just over 200,000 to park development, and 162,500 to the city hall building fund for future projects and equipment. Capital assets, including contributed capital, right of use assets, transfers from construction in progress. There was about 2.1 million in new capital assets that were added, taking into account everything in the governmental funds, and 1.2 million in the enterprise funds for the year. On page 10 and 11, at the bottom of 10, top of 11, you can see the changes in long-term debt for both the governmental activities, so leases that exist on government vehicles, the subscription-based information technology arrangements, compensated absences, and water bonds between the two of them. On page 12 is the statement of net position for the city, listing both governmental activities and business type activities. The management's discussion and analysis has gone over most of it, but these were just a couple items that I wanted to draw your attention to there. This one doesn't have a comparison to 2024's financial statements, but I have that for you. If I don't mention it, chances are it just stayed fairly similar to where it was last year. Unrestricted cash at the end of the year, that 16.8 million was up 2.2 million from where it was at the end of 2024. Restricted cash on hand was up 450,000 from the year prior. capital assets increased. We've talked, or I've touched on that previously. Overall, total assets were up 5.9 million compared to where they were at the end of 2024. Under liabilities, accounts payable there at 464,000 was down 400,000 from where it was the year prior. Customer deposits that were on hand at the end of the year were up 164,000. Overall total liabilities owed by the city at the end of 2025 were down 171,000 from where they were at the end of 2024. Excuse me.
So that total, yeah, total assets are up by 5 million and.
Yep.
And liabilities are down. That feels good.
Okay, and on page 14, this is likely more akin to the financial statements that you'll be viewing on a month-to-month basis. These are fund financial statements, so a couple increases just to present to you. The combined cash and restricted cash and governmental funds at the end of 2025 were up 1.8 million compared to the year prior. Total assets as a whole were up 1.85 million. Accounts payable, this is primarily where that large decrease from before was. They were down 455,000, primarily because of the RDA fund. You can see their accounts payable at the end were 0. Last year, that's where a majority of the accounts payable that were missing was. The RDA completed its task at the end of 2024, so that's why there's nothing there at the end of 2025. The restrictions that existed at the end of the year down there under fund balances, Class C roads is at 1 million, transportation tax 613,000, alcoholic beverage enforcement and treatment at 10,000, redevelopment at 4.8 million, city hall building at 817,000. The assignments of fund balances, park improvements at 969,000, equipment replacement at 2.4 million, roads and sidewalks at 2 million, and then the unassigned fund balance at the end of the year was 2.4 million. Total fund balance at the end of the year was 15 million, 15.2 million, an increase of 2.1 million from where it stood at the end of 2020. On page 15 is our reconciliation. So how do we get from these governmental fund balance sheets, this amount of 15.2 million at the bottom here to the 41 million that's on the statement of net position on page 12? Well, the governmental funds don't contain capital assets, so the fixed assets that exist, so that's 26, near 27 million. The right of use assets that relate to outgoing leases and subscription-based technology agreements, deferred outflows and inflows of resources that relate to URS pensions, and then these long-term liabilities, compensated absences, lease liabilities. That's how we reconcile to the 41.8 million. The on page 16, statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance in the governmental funds. Most items stayed fairly the same. Similar to the accounts payable, one noticeable difference is in charges for services, that line. About 900,000 short compared to where it was the year prior, due to that RDA. That's where they were last year and they're just gone from this year. Other areas increased, nothing individually substantial, but overall total revenues decreased by 558,000 compared to the year prior in total revenues.
Is that mostly because of the RDA or?
Primarily, there were a couple areas it was just lower overall. That was the only one that was on its own significant enough to note. But that decrease in revenues did make its way to the expenditures rolling back as well. General government for the current operating costs. So this is items that are not used to pay debt service or to pay for new capital assets. That general government, expense of 0.1 million was down, 200,000 from the year prior. Public safety at 1.9 million was down, or just under 200,000 from the year prior. Public Works was down 500,000 in spending. Parks and Recreation was up 30,000 compared to the year prior. In terms of capital outlay, so equipment purchases, land, buildings, that kind of stuff. That was down in the general government by 576,000, not due to the RDA, but due to the equipment replacement capital fund. There was less equipment bought during the year in that fund, about 400,000 less. So that heavily contributed to that decrease. Public Works capital outlay decreased by 210,000 compared to the year prior. So although total revenues decreased by 558,000, total expenditures for the year decreased by 1.7 million. So that decrease in revenue was definitely offset by a decrease in expenditures for the year as well. Similar to the reconciliation for the government fund balances, on page 17 is a reconciliation of how we get from the change in fund balance on a fund level to the change in net position of governmental activities. So capital outlays, depreciation, capital assets contributed by developers. So you can see there about 2 million in revenue that's recorded on the government-wide financials relates to developer contributions of capital assets during the year. Then
Just a question, when you said, just want to make sure, did you say fun, F-U-N or fund?
FUND.
Okay, just making sure.
Sorry, little stuffy.
But it could be fun. We're down to spending.
Then in terms of the proprietary funds, so business type activities on page 18. So this is your water, sewer, the business type activities of the city. Cash on hand at the end of the year was up 840,000 compared to the year prior. Capital assets as well, I went over on the management discussion and analysis. So the proprietary fund assets were up 2.2 million compared to the year prior. Total liabilities were fairly consistent with the prior year, only increasing by about 61,000 compared to the year 2024. But the net investment in capital assets down net position there, 18.8 million, was up 1.4 million from where it was at the end of 24. Charges for services on page 19. So fees to users were up 233,000 compared to 2024. Operating expenditures for professional services were down 20,000. Overall operating expenses were down 36,000. And there you can see as well capital contributions, the fourth line from the bottom. Those are outside developers providing capital assets to the city. That was 1 million, about 700,000 more than it was the year prior. I know I've gone over a lot of numbers for you. That's all really number wise that I wanted to touch on. There were a couple notes though that warranted bringing to your attention in the financials. So on page number 42, it's under 3H, detailed notes on transaction classes / accounts, restatement of beginning balances. This is just because of GASB 101 and that retrospective analysis, those journal entries that I showed you before. We had to take the 2024 fund balances at the end of the year and make that adjustment because of the adoption of GASB 101. So this just details what we changed and by how much. Neither of them were over 100,000. It wasn't a substantial change, but enough that it warranted an adjustment. On page number 55, this is part of the required supplementary information. It's the schedule of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance, budget to actual in the general fund as of the end of the year. Most areas were pretty on par with the anticipated budget. The only item that really significantly differed was under other intergovernmental revenues there. The final budget was 360,000, actual was 116,000. That was primarily due to the police grants or public safety grants that were received during the year. So that's the reason for that decrease in expected revenue. And then on page 56, as you'll see, the actual expenditures by each department were under their budgeted amounts for the year. The exception of building inspection, that was just over $150, but was outweighed by everything else. So total expenditures in the general fund were $862,000 under budget. And the audit reports at the back of the report. So starting on page 62. So first is the independent auditor's report on compliance and report on internal controls over compliance as required by the state compliance audit guide. So every year we go over certain items that are required as part of the state compliance audit guide. This year you can see the items or the categories that were selected: budgetary compliance, cash management, those items. In our opinion, Pleasant View City complied in all material respects with the state compliance requirements referred to above. It details our basis for the opinion, which is the same auditing standards generally accepted in the United States and government auditing standards, similar responsibilities for management and ourselves, and a report on internal control over compliance. We didn't note anything we would consider significant deficiencies or material weaknesses. So kind of gaps in that internal control. We did note one instance of non-compliance that's detailed in the schedule of findings that I'll get to in just a second. But it wasn't anything that was large enough to modify our report or anything like that. The second report on page 65 is our report on internal controls. As mentioned before, we report on internal controls, but do not express an opinion on them. This is over the financial statements or financial process internal controls, where the prior one was just state compliance controls. We identified no significant deficiencies or material weaknesses there as well, which is nice. On the final page, page 67 is just the only finding we had for the year over cash management. So as part of the Money Management Act, cash or any funds received by local governments need to be deposited within 3 business days of receiving the funds. The city has controls in place for when funds are received, who is the person who deposits those funds. And if that person, that depositor, is sick, on vacation, absent for any kind of reason, there's a backup in place so that this 3-day window can still be met. That was in place for all areas except the court revenues, which just happened to be what we had selected for our testing. And so we had to note this instance of non-compliance. We've talked it over with management, and the implementation has just been that there's going to be a secondary depositor identified for those court revenues as well. So if one person isn't there that's normally depositing the funds, this secondary depositor is going to make sure that the city is within compliance on that end. It's not a large item, it's just we happen to pick the one that fit the bill. The last item that I have to note is not one that warranted a finding or anything, but was just something to verbally communicate with the city council. Is during our testing, we noted an instance where a personal Venmo account was used to collect funds on behalf of the city and then remit those funds to the city. Lori, I think we found that it was from one of like the fundraising events, breakfast or something like that. And it just happened to be that funds were collected through the personal account and then put to the city account. we didn't identify anything that was malicious or, like any funds were misappropriated or kept or used or anything like that. But the instance of it, we just want to stress to only use the city, Venmo account that's set up as a business account so that it prevents those, the appearance of those personal account usages. I know I've just been talking for a long time and I apologize for that, but I know there have been a couple questions asked as I've gone along, but now that I've wrapped up everything I wanted to touch on, is there anything I can answer for you guys? How we do the audit? Any of the findings or items I brought up, anything like that?
I just think, I mean, the main thing that I look for every year is any deficiencies. I mean, the numbers are there and we appreciate that, but we really want, and I appreciate Laurie and Heather for really keeping track of what we're doing. I think they do a really good job, and the deficiencies you've stated, we can easily fix those. So hopefully there's nothing there. I don't know, in reference to time, make it quick.
I just want to, every year that I've been on council and we've talked about this, we always are, pretty much in compliance and we find a way to save money every year. And that's in large part because of our staff. And I want to thank especially Laurie and Heather for doing such a good job with our accounts. So thank you.
I told Laurie if I'm gonna run for mayor, if she can't quit. So she's in for at least 4 more years, so we're good. So I thank you. Anything else, or do you want?
I just, a comment, just the, if you look at the overall assets up 10% roughly, liabilities down 10%. Like you feel that this is well run, and this is me coming in new, looking at, from a business perspective. Well, those who have gone on before us, well done. Like this is good numbers. In relative to what I would consider. One question I have is there anything that, coming in new to this, is there a project or something that has kind of been held off because of the timing of things that next year it's going to be really hard that it's going to hit? It's going to come back and get us, right?
Just wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything like that we should consider or think about when in relative to these numbers that would
Just a-
change these, that would drastically
Just
do something?
budget coming. I mean, there's things that we want to talk about, but
Okay.
I don't think there's anything.
We try to be conservative with every aspect that we do, but that goes back to what we can do.
Yeah.
And it's limited on what we have, and we try to stay very close. And again, Laurie and Heather, thank you for keeping us going.
Yeah, just to follow along with that, it just feels like we're winning. I mean, we're doing the right things. It feels good. I'd have one comment. I don't want to question anything that Laurie and anybody's done. They do a great job, and I think the audit does confirm that. You see in lots of different cities and everything. Are there anything efficiencies or methods that we use in accounting that we could do better? And just off the top of your head, doesn't have to be anything long. I don't know if there's.
No, I mean, to be honest with you, it pleasantly surprised me when we brought up the GASB 101, this adjustment to compensated absences. We've had a lot of local governments that I've worked with, cities, special service districts, that kind of stuff, where they just kind of tell us, what do we do? What does this mean? Like, what numbers should we use? They kind of turn to us, and it becomes kind of we can't give you the answer. We're supposed to just evaluate your answer and all that kind of, keep that kind of independence. That's why we can do the audit and we don't, bill you monthly on an accounting retainer. But Lori and everybody at the city was one of the, I can't say the first because I don't know for certain, but one of the first management teams that actually could come to us and say, here, we've thought it over. Here's what we think. Is this reasonable? And so that was it was apparent to us that there is a level of knowledge and care that goes into all that. As it was mentioned by Councilmember Ferry, and Lori and I have talked about this as well, but just so you guys are aware, you mentioned project items to just kind of keep in mind. The ARPA funds that are held by the city, those have a deadline to be used of, I believe it's December 31st, 2026. Does that sound right? Any funds that are held past that point will have to be returned to the source, whether that's federal government, whether that's, say, Weber County, who then gives it back to the federal government, that kind of thing. So we've talked to Lori about it, and city's aware of that, and that the money needs to be put towards projects by that December 31st, 2026 date. But that's just something you mentioned, projects or things. I can't say that that's attributed to any certain project itself, but that's just something to communicate to you, so that you have that information.
Great. You just confirmed what we all knew, that Laurie had it all together.
Yeah.
So
All
thank
right,
you.
well,
Thank you very
I
much.
think we're gonna tell you thank you, and we're gonna move on to the next item. Is that okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
All right, item number 5, conflict of interest disclosure forms, Laurie.
On your, in front of you, I did a more simplified form for you. So in your packet, you have quite a bit of the state code, the forms that you need to fill out if you have a conflict of interest, but on the front here, I just simplified it. You may just want to keep those with you, so as we go through every agenda every week, you can look at it to say, okay, am I being compensated for assisting somebody? Or do I have an interest in the business that's doing business with the city? Do I have interest in a business that is regulated by the city? And then it's just really fast. It just says, okay, I need to have a sworn document to the mayor. The mayor has to give it to the council, and you have to give it to the city reporter. So it's just really a fast little checklist for you to make it really fast for you guys. So in your packets, if there are some forms, if any of those apply, would you please fill them out and give them to me or the mayor? And some of those, the mayor, you will have to tell the council, hey, I got this statement from so-and-so, just so you're aware.
Yeah.
So that's just a fast.
Well, and item number 1 in our agenda, declaration of conflicts of interest, this just states what those are and puts them into
And you
a
guys
paper
will
form.
also filled out a conflict of interest form that's on the website that you have to do when you were running for council. And then last year, the ones that were on the council, those are there also.
So there's nothing we have to fill out right now, except.
Well, if you look at those, if you
Pledge.
have a conflict or an interest in a
Yeah,
business.
if you have the
need to
conflict.
Fill those out.
Okay.
So.
We'll
that's
just keep
to make
this
it
as a
fast.
reference.
That's a fast reference.
Yeah.
Are you gonna cover this too at some point?
Those ones, just hand them in to me, we do
But-
those
but
every year.
Is that, I can't remember if that's in the agenda. Okay.
I give them to you tomorrow. I forgot my paper, my hard copy. I haven't.
You have until June. I will.
She'll hound you in May 15th.
So the ethical behaviors pledge, just fill that out and turn that in today. It's in front of you here. Okay, item number 6, rezone public hearing, consider rezone for approximately 1.3 acres of land located at 615 Fox Meadow Drive. Planned commercial CP1 to planned commercial CP2. This is ordinance 2026-1. This is the first one of the year. Holy cow. Tammy,
Yep.
do we want to go into a public hearing or do we want to hear first?
I can present first and then
Okay,
go into
perfect.
public hearing. Okay, Laurie's pulled up a very basic slideshow just to kind of show you where we're talking about. This is the lot on the corner of Fox Meadow Drive and 600 West. Our applicant is 814 Services LLC. Daniel Harris is the representative and he's here with us tonight. Glad that he could make it. Came from Michigan for this. So,
Wow.
and this is his second trip out here. So we appreciate him being here. Proposal is to rezone that northern piece that is there on the south side of Fox Meadow Drive to CP2 so that, yeah, there's an aerial shot of it for, it's going to be rezoned, or we're asking for the rezone to CP2 so that they're proposing a veterinary clinic on that location. They are also under contract for both that piece and the piece to the south of that that's owned by the Scotts. That will be coming forward soon with a boundary line adjustment or subdivision application to combine those two lots into one. But for now, tonight, we're just talking about the rezone of that northern piece. In order to do the veterinary clinic, it would be a conditional use, proposed use, which would require a conditional use permit that would come forward after the rezone and the boundary adjustment. Pretty much that's it. The recommendation from Planning Commission is approval based on the current zone there shown on the left, and then the future land use map shows it as general commercial. The property to the east, on the east side of 600 West, is already CP2. So it's kind of just, and the Scott property is CP2 as well. So it just kind of cleans up that area so that it makes more sense.
Just a quick question. Is CP2 different than C2? Because when you look up in municipal code, it's the same, right?
They're two different code or two different zones.
I'm just looking for the provisions that are allowed in CP2 in case the veterinary clinic doesn't work out, but it should. So
There's a lot of proposed or a lot of permitted and conditional uses that could go there.
yeah.
But we're sure that that is in CP two.
Yes,
Right.
as conditional use.
It's conditional.
If the vet, yeah.
Yeah. Mayor, make a motion that we go into a public hearing.
We have a motion to second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're now in a public hearing. Anybody would like to, from the public would like to come and address this issue? Come up to the mic, please. State your name, address, and
Elaine Getcher, I live in Foxmouth. So when you say conditional use permit, what does that entail for us in that live close to that development? What does conditional mean or involve?
So a conditional use permit is something that is permitted in that zone, but the city council has the authority to place conditions on it such that are not specified in the ordinance. So if they wanted to talk about lighting or parking or landscaping, they could put conditions on it in addition to what's already required in the ordinance.
So it can be, it's permitted, but regardless, but yeah.
Okay, I just, yeah, I didn't understand what the conditional meant, you
Yeah.
know, for us. I'm not here to want to say anything. My concern, I'm talking for myself, is if we change this to a different CP something and this project falls through, then are we opening ourselves up to a lot of various other businesses or whatever that would come in because, and once again, I'm speaking for myself, the animal hospital is, I'm happy with that. So
Whatever's permitted in the CP2.
So am I. I'm happy with that too.
state your name, please.
My name is Mary Williams. I'm the
Okay.
president of the HOA, the Fox Meadow HOA, over here
Thank you.
on Fox Meadow Drive. And I just have one question. We're really looking forward to having something built on that property and not have that ugly empty lot over there, same as the lot on the other side of this. My question, if this is going to be a business, whether it's a veterinary clinic or a dry cleaner, is it possible that there can be an approach to that property off of 2700 or off of 600 Shorty's Way? And how does that impact us as an HOA because of the road maintenance on that road?
I mean, they do have access to that road as far as I know. Andrea,
So
we're gonna let Laurie, or Andrea, excuse me, comment on that, I guess.
we actually had a meeting with UDOT just today on this property. They will never have access to 2700 North from that property. The 600 West is a city street, so it is up to our discretion. However, UDOT with the stacking from 2700 would prefer that it not be on 600 West. And that's also what the city is leaning towards as well. Because the way that they have it, people trying to turn left out of there could be impeded by, right-hand turners going south, and people turning left into that property could be impeded by, the left-hand turners going.
That's,
south.
that's
A cluster
That's
right
one
there.
reason why you have the little loop that goes north, even for your HOA. Because it couldn't come straight out because of the stacking of the right turn lane for the turn. And so I just don't think there's gonna be anything there. I do appreciate the developer buying that corner chunk, which will clean up that whole corner. And I appreciate you pursuing that. I look forward to that being part of that and clean up that corner.
Are you referencing that triangle piece
Yeah.
that goes all the way down?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, that was always an issue. So I appreciate you doing that. Thank you.
It's an HOA community and we have to maintain that road. And so I'm sure that you can understand our concerns when it comes with when the potential for increased traffic on our road, when we have all elderly people there that do their walks and they walk on their walker or their cane, or to me, it becomes a safety issue when we have cars now that we struggle that go up and down our road.
Yeah, hopefully
The speed limit
Yeah.
that's posted.
but that is, that property is granted access, I believe, onto that road.
If they participate in
If they participate in the HOA, which I think that they will. So, but that really, I truly think, and we're not gonna discuss it anymore. I mean, you can have your public comment for sure. We really don't comment too much on it, so I think we've commented enough
Right,
on it.
this is just addressing the reason.
But yeah, this is the reason we don't have anything else. This is the first step, which I think,
Okay, I
We're
just
good.
thought I would
Yeah.
mention that.
Oh, it's
but-
great.
Yeah.
Great comment.
yeah, but it's 2,700 and 600. I don't
It's not
think,
even an option.
well, 2,700, definitely not. 600, no, I don't think so.
Definitely not a no. So-
Yeah.
Unless UDOT does merit.
But you're telling me there's a chance.
Anyway, so let's entertain a motion to close. Any other public comment? We do want to limit this to 3 minutes, please, if we can.
Deborah White,
Okay,
and I am concerned with switching it to CP2 because if the vet clinic caves, it opens up the door to so many other businesses that could increase traffic and
Yeah.
could be a situation that attracts undesirable populations that it's like you're opening permission and then Pandora's box to open whoever. How is it gonna be if the vet clinic doesn't go down? If it doesn't build? What is the protection for the neighborhood if it is approved?
Yeah.
Without knowing what else? Do you see
Oh,
what? I'm saying is
absolutely,
We're
yeah.
just saying, sure, we're gonna do this. Oh, no vet clinic. Now we can have all these other things come in that will create an undesirable thing to be right there next door to
Yeah.
you.
no, that's.
So
There is a little bit of fear, but we, as the leadership of the community, we don't want that either. We want to, and so we'll try our very best, but changing the zone does open it up for sure. And the CP1, we tried to get to have the vet clinic or hospital. I think it's more of a hospital than a clinic, honestly. There was some wording in there that's why I think we changed it.
I'd be all.
Well, yeah, there's no guarantee in this world, yeah.
So be built, it's for me, or a 7-Eleven over the fence for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
something any of us would.
We
like.
welcome you back if any of that happens. I'm sure we'll hear from you.
Yeah, it is next to all the same zone though. So I mean, you can't isolate yourself like from
Yeah.
that far from those type of businesses.
It'd be nice, but I do think our due diligence is to have something nice. And I think,
Yeah.
I think that this will go through and I think it'll be very nice. We have the pets on one side and the people on the other. Couldn't work out better. Anyway, any other public comment? You sure you want to comment on this?
Just introduce myself in case there are any questions.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can ask myself. Once again, my name is Dan Harris. My address is 1695 12 Mile Road, Berkeley, Michigan. And if there are any questions for me, I'm here. Or any clarifications. or
What is your
anything.
role again? You're the developer or what's your?
We'll don't own the land. We're under contract to purchase the land, and then we'll also build. So.
Okay.
Is the veterinarian clinic, all animals, livestock?
Household. only.
Household.
Mhm. And cats, dogs.
No cows
No, I didn't have your house, but no. Standard household pets.
Will there be an ambulance, a pet ambulance?
There's not.
Okay, just making sure.
But I'm available if there's any other questions as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, I think to entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any
Aye.
comments on this rezone? If not, I'd entertain a motion. Well, make sure to sign in on the book. You can put whatever you want, sure. Okay, and entertain a motion, and this will be a roll call.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to, hang on a second, I lost the thing.
2026-1.
To make a motion to rezone on item 6, to rezone the property approximately 1.03 acres of land located at 615 Fox Meadow Drive to CP 2 from CP 1.
Okay, with Sarah making the motion,
I'll second the
I
motion.
have a second by Marriott. This is a roll call. Arrington,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Marriott,
Yes.
Yuri,
Yes.
Wilkinson.
Yes.
Yeah, that passes. Thank you very much. Okay, Tammy, we have item number 7, vacate easement. Consider vacating and relocating. We're still in the meeting, please. We're still in the meeting. Thank you. Consider vacating and relocating a temporary turnaround easement located in the Weaver View subdivision at 226 West, 3175 North, and 238 West, 3175 North. Tammy.
Okay. So this is a proposal that was kind of requested by Ivory Development, but is a city proposal. I'll get to, okay. So there's 2 lots on in the Ivory Development there on 3175 North that, the road dead ends into a neighboring property that's actually in, North Ogden. And Ivory we have a current temporary turnaround there on the last lot on the street. It's, on 226 West. And they are requesting that we trade positions or trade lots and put the temporary turnaround on the lot to the west. The way the development prefers is that the driveways for the homes be on the higher side of the properties. And on that lot 214, I believe it's 214, yeah, 214, that would be the east side of the property, but that didn't work for the turnaround, the temporary turnaround, because that took it into the neighboring property. And so in order to have the turnaround there, they're requesting that we move it to the west property, lot 213. And I've got, let's see.
What's the turnaround like that right now?
Let me, if I can figure out oops. Did I hit that or did it turn off? I don't know. Sorry, me and technology.
That happens from did that happen from the remote?
I don't know, maybe.
Sounds like it happened from the remote.
Yeah. And then just Hit just the slideshow. Okay, there we go. Okay, so here on, here on this slide here, the picture on the left is where the hashed mark is where it is now, and the red is where they would prefer it being on the high end of the high side of the property. But you can see where that doesn't work, where it goes into the neighboring property. And so their proposed location or the new location is on lot 213. There
How,
on the
how
east
does
side
that
of the
work
lot.
if you're, I mean, you go to that dead end, you gotta back up to do the turnaround? You know, you go to the dead end and you gotta back up to 213 to turn around if you do that?
The turnaround would be access into the driveway of that lot,
Of 24, of
of
213?
whichever lot it's on. So you would just do
Yeah.
a little
Do we put a sign on?
in and
Yeah,
out.
this is approved turnaround lot. I don't know, that
And
just,
and currently Ivory owns both of those lots still. They're not, they're.
I don't remember ever discussing.
yeah.
They're supposed to be restricted, but. So you have the right, if you need to use them, or if you turn the plow around. And that shit, but yes, generally, they're don't answer. It's not the ideal.
For a plow truck, that'd be really hard, right? Cause you gotta go clear to the end. Plow
Yeah,
the snow and then you gotta back up into that turnaround.
yeah, so you're shooting for those turnarounds, or if you swing the blade. If you do that where you don't have the temps and gouge the driveways, we'll have people try to. Cost us to pay for them, so. They make it nice where you know you don't, even if they've sort of blocked it, cause obviously you're. Be able to get out, build a deal with that, those scenarios.
Is the city gonna have to plow the turnaround?
No, generally.
Cause you'd likely, when you plow that, you're gonna back clear out to the main road and plow both to the end and back out again. That's what I've seen you do on most.
Yeah, it's usually those dead end type, try not to use those, but those are supposed to be for your Amazon truck, garbage truck. It's not just emergency services, just like you're saying. Temporary turnaround, so.
I have never seen this even been brought up for anything before.
There's
see-
about 6 in town and.
It seems kind of silly to have that. What if there's a car in the driveway? You know,
It's not the driveway.
well, it is the drive, isn't there
Empty
a
lot.
driveway? Or is it a separate, it'll be a separate approach and a separate cement?
Whether they end up on a trailer in it or not.
So
Yeah,
point that Laurie just brought up is that the new turnaround location has been recorded with the county already. We're just vacating
oh, the other one.
the other one.
Yeah, so there's a new, ordinance or. Just vacating.
Just vacating, so they've already, okay. So we don't have any say anyway.
They've already reported that.
Okay. I entertain a motion to vacate this temporary turnaround easement.
Maybe I'll make a motion that we vacate the temporary turnaround on lot 214.
Here we have,
Oh, do we have to say move it to?
no, we're not moving, I guess, or well, or they already done it.
They've recorded 213.
So
Okay.
we have a motion by Marriott, second,
Second.
second by Wilkinson, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that passes. Thanks, Ann, for saying yes. Are you still awake? You're 2 hours
Well,
ahead
I'm
of us.
awake.
is that right?
I'm awake. Yeah, 2 hours ahead of you. I got
Stay
this.
awake till midnight?
I am gonna get a cookie from you though, right?
Thank you. We expect conversation from you here shortly. Item number 8, subdivision final acceptance. Discussion of possible action to consider granting final acceptance to the Real and White Business Park and ending the guarantee period. Tammy.
Okay, so this is for Real and White Business Park, the escrow for that project. Jones and Associates has done a final, their final inspections and they have met the requirements and on the punch list. satisfactorily. And so, Jones and Associates is recommending that we release the remaining escrow. We have checked the accounts receivable, balances, and there's no outstanding fees owed to the city. And so we would recommend that the final acceptance be granted and we can release the escrow account.
This is for 138,535.49.
Yes.
Can entertain a motion to,
This doesn't have anything to do with Rise at all, right? I mean,
No.
The Rise,
Nope.
the development's all done. Okay.
This is separate.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we, oh, where you go? Sorry. That we, where are we?
8?
8? We approve the, final, or to give final acceptance to the Rulon White Business Park subdivision.
Have a motion?
I'll second.
Second. And
Is
you
it
gotta
we?
give
Put
a
me on
second.
record.
All in favor?
Aye.
And
Aye.
okay, it passes. Item number 9, change order to the pickleball courts. Discussion of possible action to consider approving a change order for pickleball courts. Andrea.
So back in the spring, Laurie did an assessment on the funds that were available for the pickleball courts versus the budgeted contract, or not the budgeted, but the approved contract amount. And we were in a deficit of around $36,000. So the pickleball committee met with EK Bailey, went through and eliminated some items on here to bring the contract down. When we went out to do the pay app, there was some questions on it, and because the lower amount was never approved by the city council, we just need to formalize that the contract was lowered to the amount of $659.40. So it's nothing changing the pickleball courts, it's just formalizing that this is the final number that we approved.
And I know you were heavily into that. Do you want to make that motion?
Yeah, I would like to make that motion. So I'll make a motion that we approve the change order for the pickleball courts.
Any second? Okay, we have a motion by Ann, second by Sarah. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed?
So
You need to say yes, Ann,
Yes.
because you're so delayed back there.
Okay, I'll say yes. That'll help.
do we, I mean, EK Bailey, it's not something they just took money out on their own, right? We actually eliminated things to reduce the down. to
That's
that.
correct.
Okay, good.
And it was just, we'll try not to ever do that again. It was, it was,
You don't want
Anyway.
more pickleball court?
no, we won't pickleball courts, but just the way they
Gotcha.
did it, it was just,
I got you.
right, we tried to do our due diligence and it just, there were some things that were just, anyway, we need to make it right. So there you go. Item number 10, interlocal agreement. This, Sean, did you have a conflict of interest that you?
No, because we shouldn't be considering this tonight. This agreement has been rescinded by Weber County. So it's not something for the city council to consider.
Okay, so
Help me with this. So this
Yep.
was just to terminate at a, right?
So this
Termination.
agreement, this is the same agreement that I presented several
Oh,
weeks ago.
gotcha.
Which would have, so there's an existing agreement that the city has with Weber County with the transfer station. And we were asking to extend that agreement, change a couple of the terms. So it would be a 2-year out clause and a 5-year term. But after talking to several cities, we pulled that. We sent an email out saying, we're not going to consider this anymore. Let us work on a few things and then we will give a new proposal to the cities in the future. So that is still to come.
I just want to say that I attended a meeting where Sean presented some good information, and I'm very proud that he is now part of our city council, and I'm very pleased with what's going on. I think that's an important part of really getting rid of our garbage, and we need to make sure that we keep that viable and that better minds are working on it. So appreciate that. So we're going to just
Wow, ready out by 9 o'clock. now.
yeah, negate the item number 10. Larry, do we need to do anything other than just, no? Okay. Okay, what about the interlocal agreement on number 11? Discussion and consideration to enter into an interlocal agreement with UDOT to reimburse Pleasant View for the portion of the costs associated with constructing dual left turn lanes at 2700 and 1740 West in the amount of $250,000. Andrea.
So I'm going to forewarn you that in the coming months, you're going to hear a lot about Far West Landing and a lot of agreements that we have because of that development crosses city lines. As part of that development, UDOT is requiring that they install dual turn left lanes, eastbound to 1740 west. And to do that, they've got to widen 2700 north in order to accommodate those those two lanes with the addition of the median that UDOT is going to install there. The developer asked UDOT to participate in or contribute financially to the widening of the road. UDOT agreed to $250,000 contribution towards that. They will only distribute that to a city. So in order for the developer to get it, UDOT has to give the money to the city, and the city, once that work is done, can disperse it to the developer. There is another agreement between Pleasant View and the developer that's still being worked on for distribution of those funds. So you will see that agreement later. But this is no expense to Pleasant View City. We're not doing any of the work in widening the road. We're only handling the funds that are coming from UDOT to the developer.
But isn't this a reimbursement of what we did spend? We didn't spend anything for turnout lane there or anything? Is that?
No.
Okay.
That's the future.
It's just future. And the plan is to put a median at that intersection?
UDOT will be installing the median, yeah.
So, okay, yeah. I don't love how that, if it's the same as what they did on 2600, I don't love that, but I know they're gonna widen it and make that intersection work, so.
This is one of the reasons why I thought, oh, maybe I should quit.
Ready?
All the stuff that's involved in this is a lot. Anyway,
Yeah.
but anyway, I'd entertain a motion to enter into this interlocal agreement as stated by Andrea, item number 11.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we enter the interlocal agreement with UDOT to reimburse Pleasant View City.
Have a motion?
Second.
Second by Wilkinson. Favor?
Aye.
Ann?
Yes.
Yes?
She fell asleep.
Yes and
Dan?
yes. Yes, you got
Okay.
me? So
All right,
four
we've
yeses
already
there.
Yes. There was a delay across the
Okay.
pond. Okay, we've already done 12, 13. We're halfway through, everybody. Yay.
That's a long ones to go.
Yeah, well, some of these are gonna go quick. Municipal code amendment, item number 13, discussion and the consideration to amend Pleasant View City Municipal Code to update references to the reconciled Land Use Development and Management Act, ordinance 2026-2, Andrea.
We got word probably a month or so ago that the legislature convened a special session and renumbered the Land Use Development and Management Act code for the state of Utah. It used to be found under Title 10-9A. They've moved that to 10-20. It is referenced in our city code, I believe 8 times. So that needs to be updated to reflect the correct state code that we refer to in city code. It's also on a lot of our land use applications and checklists, so those will need to be updated as well.
So it didn't change anything, we just changed the
There's
citation.
no substantive change to any of the code. It's simply just changing those numbers. On the exhibit that's attached on that ordinance, it just shows you the crosswalk of where the codes were found and what they'll be changed to.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we amend the Pleasant View City Municipal Code to update and recodify the land use numbers.
A motion by Dave,
Second.
second by Johnny, all in favor?
Yes.
Oh, that is, excuse me, that is an ordinance. I have it right here in front of me. Arrington,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Marriott,
Yes.
Erie, Wilkinson.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Thank you. Item number 14, personal policy amendment. Discussion of possible action to amend the personal policy to address changes under the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. regarding income tax deduction for qualified overtime compensation and consolidate prior policies. This will be 2026 policy 2026-1. Laurie.
Okay, we're trying to get ready in payroll for this overtime compensation that's a tax deduction now. I just pulled all the vacation, the comp time, holiday time stuff, everything that we changed in our policy that I've been referring to. Everything's been changed and changed and changed. I thought I'm gonna just get all those together, put them in one policy here. And then the only big change I'm doing on the overtime is we have a bank that when employees get overtime, it goes into a comp bank and you can keep 40 hours. Now I have to separate them because some of the hours will be FLSA and some will be non-FSLA. And if it is, then it is qualified tax deduction. And so I need to keep track of those two. So my proposal is to have two banks at 40 hours each that we can just keep there. And then the employees can keep it in the bank or they can cash it out whenever they want to. But if it does go over 40, I automatically cash out of those banks. And so that's the tracking mechanism of this one big beautiful bill for 4 years. How's that?
How do they build up that bank or?
So if they work over 40 hours a week, that is overtime, and that is at FLSA. If they're working on a holiday, they get overtime, but that's not, if it's not actual hours worked, and it's just the holiday hours, it's not FLSA. And then I will bank that someplace different.
Separate, okay.
So
Don't
if
they,
it's actual
I mean, like
hours-
when they snowplow too, don't we?
Snowplow, if they go over the 40
Then
in
it'll
a
be-
week, they
so-
can get it.
Okay.
But if they're using vacation or whatever and they've
If
not,
they're plowing
Yeah.
snow on a holiday,
Well,
it's
yes.
different,
Yeah.
right? So.
so that's the biggest thing. And the other red ones are just things just to make it more simple, like the Juneteenth. We are always looking at that law on what day we take. And so I've added that into the policy. So those are just updates. Those look okay.
This is policy 2026-1.
Yeah, and in there I put 40 hours and then there's 40 hours for just the normal, the SLA. But then in here, I put 10 hours, but as I was doing payroll yesterday, 40 hours. Because different departments accrue differently. And it will not benefit one group over the other. So if we do 40 and 40.
So that's what,
kind of more fair.
because this is 40 and 10, you want
40,
to change it to
that's
40
okay,
and 40. Okay. Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve what is it, Policy
2026-1.
2026-1. And with the change in
10 to 40.
section 5, number 5, from 40 hours of FSLA and 40 hours of non-FSLA.
Got that, Larry?
Yes.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, you have, motion by Marriott, second by Yuri. This is a roll call vote. Arrington,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Marriott,
Yes.
Yuri,
Yes.
Wilkinson.
Yes.
Yeah, that passes. Larry, I think I'm gonna be signing these again, I hope, because I'm kind of gonna make sure I got all the things here. So, all right, Roth Service Agreement. Discussion of possible action to adopt the designated Roth Service Agreement with Utah Retirement Systems to allow employees to participate in the new Roth 401k and Roth 457 plans, Laurie.
Okay, so your S is offering this, but our employees cannot take benefits of it unless the city council actually says we will allow employee to participate. It's not a mandatory or anything, it's just allowing the employees to contribute if they want to. So it's no financial thing to the city, it's just a benefit to the employee if they want to.
I'm sorry. Why would they? I'm just curious why they, but they don't, it's part of the whole state, and why don't just make it automatic? It didn't make sense to me.
I don't know, maybe some cities don't want to offer it and maybe go through the
It doesn't
process
cost us any
of-
more, doesn't cost any more work or anything to, we just have to,
Make, Employees withdraw their money and report it.
but you don't do that. Another company that's doing that for us.
Well, they have to do the deduction.
It's, we go through payroll.
It's a different way in payroll for you to handle that, the raw.
So It's just a line item. They have to-
Yeah, it's
then
just
they
a
deduct, they
line item.
deduct it. They deduct it.
So it doesn't cost us any more,
Yeah, so an employee can say
more.
Options.
more options,
Yeah.
like I want money into a Roth, or I want it in an IRA, just a plain, or just a 401k. I mean, it just gets some different options of what they
Okay.
want to do.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer to me, so.
Okay, this again is, is this ordinance? No, wait a minute.
No, it's just.
And in
Is
the
that just
agreement
a-
that you see, I've only marked that we're gonna allow employees to participate. We're not gonna be matching or anything.
Yeah.
to them. It's just gonna allow them to participate.
So this is just.
What do you mean? Is it different than the regular 401k matching?
Because right now, the city does offer a 401k match.
Right.
Up to 1.5%. The city will match it if the employee wants to also participate. This one, we're just saying, employees, if you want to participate, you can. Because the city, we're not gonna be matching this.
But couldn't they, so if they contribute to the Roth 401k, would they match it, would we match it in the other 401k? I mean, I
We
don't,
match in the other. They're totally separate. There's a Roth 401k and just a regular 401k. And
okay.
the regular one, we do match.
So they won't miss out on their matching. Their total contribution will be matched just like
And
we
that-
would know.
Wherever they like.
Program.
Yeah, but if they put it all in Roth, does that mean they don't get matching?
Yeah, they don't get it. And then they want.
That doesn't make sense to me. I have no idea why they would do that.
Some people, as they get older, they want to put more money into a retirement so they can catch up. If you're younger and you haven't put money into
You want them.
these savings accounts, you can put money here, and just build up the accounts too.
The only risk is that you run in that someone doesn't understand that and then they don't do it, but that's kind of on them anyway, so
So they have, in order to get the matching, they have to do.
they better pick the other plan.
Just
Yeah,
the 401k.
the right
We
plan,
only
yeah.
match the 401k, not the Roth. This just is.
Do we have an option to match the Roth?
No, not unless we go through the budget next year. You guys say we want to match on everything.
Yeah, I just don't think I think either or, I think that's fine, and because Roth is managed differently than the regular 401k, so it's,
Yeah, but it's,
You take taxes now. No.
Yeah.
So.
it's just a different way.
I get that, but
uh,
I don't understand why it would be any different matching. I mean, it's still the same amount of money. We're taking away we're taking away a benefit of the employees by not allowing the matching. And maybe we don't have to do that now, but later we could do, we could do it.
Okay, match, but this is a Roth 401k.
Right.
Which we're not gonna match right now, unless you guys in the future want to. But
Do you know if
It's
it's common,
budget.
is it common in other cities that have
this is.
the same issue? So this is all new.
This is brand new with URS. a
So
Roth.
I'm just curious if anyone else around it or any other cities are doing the match or not.
I'd be interested to see what the,
Oh, I'm-
just the regular, just the
The
regular
Roth and
401
Roth
with
plus
the
match. Is anyone else
benefit
doing
of,
that?
it's tax-free.
No,
it's-
they're not
you
even
know,
starting until March.
Okay.
I don't know,
So-
anyway,
It'd be nice to have the option though, like maybe like you mentioned in either order, but that would definitely have to be something.
Roths didn't exist when I started investing in 401ks, and I would have 100% put every bit of my money in a Roth before. But
You're not taxed on what you.
yeah, it just wasn't.
So from a competitive standpoint, if an employee is looking at this and they say, if we're competing for a talent that we want to hire or bring on, and they say, hey, the other city that I'm competing with does Roth plus match, and we only do Roth, yeah, if that's my deciding factor, I may go that way, right?
But I don't think, but I don't think we would want to, do both. I mean, cause then there'd be double dipping really.
Yeah, but it only
Just-
matches to what you did, so
Well-
you either put in one or the
I
other.
think you would have to
But,
choose.
but,
either
but
or.
we're matching one, cause then they get double the money if we put it in both.
Right, yeah, you wouldn't want double.
So this is one, but
You just have a max, you have a max matching, regardless of which one you put into.
well,
Anyway, we don't. need to do that tonight.
Something to consider.
for this, we have on the table today is just to adopt this option for them.
If
And
you
it-
want to, I can put a note for the budget to bring
Yeah.
this back up, have this as another option. Because right now, all the employees have their option for this year, the 401k, and will end in June.
Okay.
And then depending on what you guys decide, we can bring it back up and see if you want to.
I think it's good.
Fraud or something, or,
So they couldn't change it now if they
no, everybody signed their forms, and that's what we're doing for this budget.
There's no open enrollment until then. So it really doesn't matter what we approve right now.
No, it doesn't. matter.
Well, we gotta approve this, so.
This was
They
to
can't use
allow
it.
them, they can't,
At that time, they'll allow them.
no, they can do it
This opens up right now. They can start, okay, Mark,
When they-
oh,
when they open it up. The
Right.
employee can do it,
Oh,
but in our budgets, we have not matched it.
okay, yeah, okay, I
Yeah, but
get it.
they can review.
I just thought you were saying they couldn't even if we allowed it, they couldn't do it until they couldn't put anything in the law. So,
No, they can.
They
Sorry.
even have it, I mean, because I had a retirement from before here, you can take your retirement
Oh,
money
roll
from
it
your
over.
450 or for your 401 and transfer over to
Oh,
the
okay.
Roth. So once it's in with URS, you can move it. So if somebody's really concerned about match, they could go the regular 401k route and then transfer it
Yeah,
into the
you
Roth.
just solved the whole problem right there.
yeah, that's.
I didn't realize you could do
Yeah,
that inside.
It's all accessible right from their URS account.
Oh,
Right.
there you go.
I'd entertain a motion to adopt this.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt a designated Roth service agreement with URS to allow the employees to participate in a 401k, a Roth 457 plans, and also as noted by Lori in the packet.
Okay, we have a motion by Sarah,
I'll second motion.
Marriott, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Any? And you're still there? Thank you.
Mm.
We're gonna discuss the meeting schedule next.
Just so you know. There's the order that goes with it, but I do have the calendar, and I did mark off. By meetings, if you guys agree with them, or. There's any other concerns with it, but that's for you to look at,
That's this one.
yes.
Yeah, the yellow didn't show up on here, right? So we don't have it.
Look at the X's.
The X is what you marked off, but the actual days that we
Day.
have the council meeting.
So second and fourth.
Yeah, second, four. Oh, yeah.
So April 28th would not,
What is that one?
That's the week, when Andrew's gonna be to love training, the week before, CAP.
Big training
and conference.
For sure, I'm good with that. Cancel.
That's
And
important.
Founders Day, the last week in June.
It's actually good. Yeah.
And the July is the
Yeah, last year,
the 24th of July. Thanksgiving and then Christmas.
I wonder if the 24th of July one will really affect us though, like it's the 29th, right? Am I looking at that right? Or 28th?
28th,
I imagine with budget and everything, we probably ought, well,
budget's done.
get done before that,
by
right?
June 9th.
It's up to you guys, but I think it's far enough away from the 24th that if we need to have it, we could.
Can we just leave the option as needed?
Do you know if you can always have a meeting if you feel like you
Right.
need to? You
Yeah.
always-
It's a lot of vacation around that time, so.
It is
True,
after the
that's true.
24th. That's a good point.
The 24th is a city holiday, right? Yeah. State holiday,
We're just not here on Friday.
that period. Okay,
so for Laurie to set the agenda and everything. might be
yeah,
a
that makes it
frustration.
hard.
Yeah, it's just, there's a lot of work before we do. Posting.
I'm good with all those.
Any other comments? John? So we're leaving July 28th off for now, or,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, this is ordinance 2026-3.
Yeah. We have to,
I will move for approval of ordinance 2026-3.
is that
Sean?
good? Alan?
That's just, so Sean, has a motion?
I'll second motion.
Marriott, imagine this is a roll call, then, right? So have that in front of me. Maybe it's right here, let's see. No. Oh, here we go. Harrington,
Yes.
Marriott,
Yes.
ooh. I sees this before. Johnny,
Yes.
Yuri,
Yes.
Wilkinson. Yes. Okay, the mayors always serve on the Central Weaver Sewer District, and I need to be approved by the council to serve on that board. So I'd entertain a motion to appoint Steve,
They all are mayors.
all the mayors on that. So,
I'll make a motion that Mayor Gibson they'll serve on the Central Weaver Sewer Improvement District Board for the 4-year term.
a motion by Marriott,
I'll second that.
Johnny, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Yes,
Can you give us feedback on that
absolutely.
someday? Because I don't think we ever got, I don't feel like we ever.
I am so looking forward to what they do out there for an hour and a half. Like that. Yes,
That you mean?
once a month, third or fourth, no, third Wednesday, third Monday. Dad is keeping track of my schedule. Oh my gosh.
I'd like to have a tour of it someday.
Yeah. Who'd like a tour?
I'd like.
Yes.
I will set it up. We'll go as a group.
Sweet.
I don't know, Laurie, what do we do for something like that if we, for quorum?
Post it on.
Post an agenda just saying, hey, you guys are going out to
On
Central
the
Weaver
trip?
Sewer. So just let me know when and day and time.
Yeah, I'll get that.
Post an agenda.
I asked many questions about how that worked. I just don't see how the stuff flows all the way out to Slater to that area.
Yeah, questions about how,
And how
you know, does that water all go back to the lake? Or,
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this,
They,
if we're consuming it here, shouldn't it just be going back into the lake?
he made one comment. I know time's short, so I'm gonna 10 seconds here, but I said, what is the capacity out there? And, we had remember that big rain, we had this rain event, and a lot of things went into the sewer that was supposed to go to stormwater. And I can't remember the exact, but it was like, normally they have 500,000 gallons a day or something like that. There was over 1 million that they processed in that one event. And he said, we handled it. It was kind of iffy, but that's things that we're just thankful that we have, flush the toilet or turn on the tap. Thanks, Tyson, for that. Okay, council assignments. I'm gonna tackle this just for a minute. I don't want to spend a ton of time on it because we are. But I've talked to everybody here, and I know there were some issues with some people and some things, but let me tell you kind of what I'm thinking. I want to have one person responsible for some things. That doesn't preclude having other people work on it. And that's not, that's not the idea of this. We had two at one point for a lot of things. But I think just one person that kind of a go-to person, but everybody can work with stuff. And the communication, I know that's something that, Sarah kind of brought up, but that doesn't say you can't communicate or do things. I'm not saying that. But I've tasked Ann with working on ways to communicate with the city, with the council. Facebook is an evil, wicked place that I found out, that just, and a lot of people, as I was campaigning, had no clue with what's going on Facebook. And is that the best way for us to communicate? We're still going to use it? Absolutely. Our newsletter is one way, but I want her to look at stuff. And I think, Ann, good, don't present stuff today, but you've come up with a couple of different things and some good ideas, correct?
Yeah, we've been interviewing some companies, some apps, some things. Andrew and I have been looking at that. And so, yeah, we've got some suggestions to bring up to you. So we'll bring those to you at next committee meeting. But yeah, we're actively engaged in that right now.
So I want the council to be active in helping the city, probably a little bit more than in years gone by. We have to be careful because you guys are legislative versus executive. And I want to have that stated really close. We are not to really be over any of the employees. That's not really what this is about. But I've tasked Sean with looking at the planning. He's got a lot of planning experience. I want him to look at things, look at our procedures, our policies, the way we do things, and then bring back to the city council ways of improvement. Johnny, you know, for all his good and bad that he's got over here, eating cookies and just doing stuff, he's great with our economic, that's his job now, is economic development. And so I've tasked him, and I want him to work with our Tri-City area. There's a Tri-City Business Alliance, and I want him to form a committee that works with those people, with private people, and I don't want some of these things to be taxed on our staff, but work with a committee to help encourage economic development here. I met with those people early on in the campaign, and they had some complaints about, well, I don't want to work with Pleasant View. Well, shame on you. You know, that you don't have the vision of what can happen. Our Chick-fil-A will benefit everybody, even far west. You know, they're not part of the Tri-City, typically North Ogden, Harrisville, and Pleasant View. But I want you to do that. And so that's kind of why economic development is Johnny. I want him to be that lead. That's not saying that he can't ask and we can't contribute. Or not we, but you guys can't contribute to that. Does that make sense?
Does that should include Tri-City Business Alliance, right?
Well,
Is that what you're saying on
I'm
there?
gonna kind of let Johnny run with that. Now, that is one aspect of when I met with them during the campaign, I didn't really know that they existed and what they really did. And there's a lot of business people that are in North Ogden, that are in Pleasant View, with over by the Rush.
A lot of people outside of the Tri-Cities that like to participate
Yeah.
with them because they have great ideas.
Absolutely.
good ideas.
And so it will only benefit us to be involved with that. I want Pleasant View to lead out on that. And so again, these are, I don't want to go through every single thing today just for time, but that's kind of some of my reasoning for changing up some of those things.
So ones that have multiple people on them, is there a plan to have somebody lead those?
Which one do you see? Like Point North area, Ferry and Wilkinson?
Grant was one of them. There was another one I saw too.
Cemetery is one of them.
Cemetery. So Marriott and Yuri, you know, Ramp, Sarah's been involved and she knows a lot about Ramp, and so I kind of thought that was important.
When you
for
say a lead, I think we work together. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think
Well,
it's one more than the
and
other.
it's for sure, it's not to say that one person has say over another, but I want to have a
Maybe
point person.
initiate it.
Initiate or something.
Yeah, I think.
But Ramp, and you know, I think Sarah understands Ramp. We need to get money from Ramp.
By the way, we're gonna miss the major ramps this week,
Is it? Oh, gee.
but we could still do easy grants. But
Well,
the major, you know, if we want to hurry and whip something up, heaven forbid, no, we don't really, because it's due January 16th.
okay, well, dang it. Dana, why don't you tell me that? Why don't you tell me?
Ramp
So
applications are,
Oh, sorry. When you're
Yeah,
done
what was
talking about
that?
ramp, I want to talk. When you're done talking about ramp, I want to just talk for a sec. Sorry.
Go ahead. Well, that's Sarah.
oh no, I was gonna say they're due this week, but oh well.
I
But
thought that
still
we
have-
agreed after pickleball courts that we were taking a break from the major ramp
Yes,
grants.
we did.
So, not missing anything. We're
Okay.
choosing.
No.
And go ahead. Time is yours.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I don't mind having two people on a thing, but one thing I have found out, like just serving on committees with like Phil or Dave or Sarah, like it is hard to coordinate multiple schedules. And so, like, I mean, I don't know if we do want to call a lead and just, I don't know. I just like, that's one thing I struggled with last year, is trying to align with other people's schedules. So do we need two people on everything?
Well, I'm kind of going, I took a lot of people off the dual things just for that reason. I want some people to kind of head that up from the ones I've talked about here. But that doesn't say that you can't help or can't do. I mean, we want everybody to be involved. And I
Yeah.
think that's the big key here. The big takeaway from my aspect as mayor to the city council is I want constructive help and real forward thinking. And I don't know exactly how I want to report on that, but I don't want just at the end of the meeting just to throw it out there for
Yeah, it needs to be.
stuff. But I want to have, but I don't want everybody to also comment on all their different aspects. You know, I think it needs to be something that if,
Here's a thought, like to what Ann just said, it's so, for instance, if it's Ann or whatever, you set the meeting, and if the other person can come, great, if you can't, oh well.
you know,
And so I think that the number one thing is to work with the staff and the people that you need. And then if the other council member wants to help, hey, this is when we're having a meeting, if you can come, great.
yeah.
If you can't,
And we have to be careful of you know, having quorum, and so that's another thing. Let's talk about, Founder's Day here for just a second. Cause this is something, this is the hardest thing for me, honestly, is
this is your baby.
To give up?
giving up the Founder's Day, and I'm,
Well, you can have it if you want.
no.
You can't serve salmon this year, Steve. You were off.
Well, I'm gonna serve salmon by royal decree, no matter what. Well, I'll say hi, but I love that, and Founder's Day is my favorite day of the year, and I'm gonna have a tough time. So I am going to be involved, Dave, and putting Dave over that as the chair. And just as we've always done, and it's been so nice, just because for the last few years, everybody knows what they've had to do. It's gonna be a little different with Sean and
So are they,
Johnny this year, because
they
you
know
don't know
that?
what you have to do.
Nope.
We
But,
already put Sean
You
in touch
got-
with the
wait.
race people.
yeah.
okay, good.
So Sean, you're kind of taking over what Phil did.
Okay.
And his kind of the early morning stuff. Sarah helps a lot with different things and getting money, but you're over those activities.
He's a runner, so it's
And
perfect.
so that's good. You can, if you can run quick, just so you can be there.
Tell you where, Sean.
But that's the breakfast, and we'll talk about that. Dave's already I think he's gonna schedule a little meeting.
Yeah, in fact, I talked about, we can look at calendars if you want.
Let's not do it.
Meeting for Founder's Day.
Yeah, I'd like to get it kicked off within the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So just to be thinking about, because of this year. Right.
And then,
Yeah.
Johnny, you're gonna be over the car show. That's gonna be your primary thing, and we've got some good help there. But everybody pitches in for everything, you know, a lot of different things. But again, this is one city council person over it. And I want you to own that. One thing that, and I know I talked to the mayor about a lot of other cities, and as I've talked to other mayors and other things, I had Roy get with me. How do you pull off a salmon bake? And, well, how do you get the council to want to do it? Well, it's just expected. And that's why I say for Sean and Johnny, it's expected for you to participate. If not, sorry.
Well, Sean has, yeah, and Johnny has too. Johnny's been helping out with the breakfast last few years.
So,
Sean has.
And when it's successful, you want to, so.
So, and I'm going to kind of include item number 20 in this a little bit right now. We have to put together some Pleasant View 175, and we're going to talk a little bit about America 250. I've also kind of tasked Dave with putting together some Pleasant View 175 stuff. I've met with the Heritage Committee. They're going to be working on it. Talked a lot with Dana. She's working on it with the wives and husbands if they want to participate. And starting out some different initiatives geared towards the Pleasant View 175. But we're behind the 8 ball on Founder's Day, maybe, but we're also behind the 8 ball on plans and fun things for Founder's Day. But I don't want us just to go off rogue. I want it to be organized, and I want things to pass through Dave and pass through me, so we talk about it a little bit. Is that fair?
Real quick, when Cindy and I met about events the other day, because of the 175th, if, you know, we were gonna run it by you guys, and if you wanted to, and I talked to Jerry Burns at the beginning of June, we were gonna add another, you know, barbecue food truck night with the giant square dance and things like that, just to kick it off in June. That's it, just one night. But, you know,
Let's talk about it. And we're not gonna talk about it right now because of time, but just those things we have to get going. And so I'm asking for not council participation, but I want citywide representation for that. So good people that you know, invite them to come and help us celebrate. You know, whether we get a coin with 175 and 250 on the other I think it'd be a really good idea. Dan, I've had the idea of getting some shirts. Okay, some Lee, okay. So Lee came up with some shirts to sell and do some things. I don't want to make it so big and cumbersome that it takes time from the staff. Founder's Day, and this is the city council, and I want us to take it, own it. Tyson, I'm sorry, you're still gonna be involved with Public Works on that week. I can't take that away from you. If I could drive it, I
I
would.
thought it was
but-
kind of included in Founder's Day. It's, it ought to be separate.
Anyway,
But
any
we're probably-
questions? Ann is gonna be the mayor pro tem. I look forward to her leadership and counsel. Ann, you okay with that?
Thank you. That'd be great.
And I put names and things in here of people that really are heading it up for, Sam and Becky. She does that. That's not something that we're gonna give away. And I told Becky if she ever quits, Founder's Day's done. Cindy, with the search, she's kind of in charge of a lot of that thing. Cindy really helps with the parade, but,
I was hoping Ann would want to do cert, so.
Cindy's
You gave it up fast, Ann.
yeah, so, anyway,
Mayor?
yeah, go ahead.
A question about, there's obviously probably a budget number tied to each of these two, correct?
Founder's Day, we need to work on that. We have a floating budget a little bit, but we try to, it costs us money all the time. I don't know what, we don't need to go into. Yeah, there's money there for that, but I think we'd say pretty close. What kind of budget? money you
I
talking
just-
about? Like for, like your
I'm
economic
assigned-
development? That's probably not.
Most of them don't have a budget
have a-
actually assigned to
Okay.
them. There's things that would come out of a budget if we
Yeah.
made decisions, but
Okay, so if I'm in charge of car show, it's an event that's pulled up, but there's no like.
So
money.
I'll talk to you about the car show. We have
Okay.
a sponsor, usually,
We have a good guy that helps.
and we have a really good guy that helps
Perfect.
that. I'll talk to you about that.
Sure.
A little bit, fill you in on that. So generally, for the last few years, we have the city, well, we'll talk about that.
That's
We'll
great.
talk about the car show after. Anybody else have any issues? Anything?
No issues. I just want to add, we're going to keep pickleball in the Founder's Day, right?
Yeah.
Put me
I
down
mean,
on-
just as
put
you
me
and I
down on
talked,
that.
Yeah, well, okay,
yeah, we don't have
yeah.
the Heritage Committee listed here either, and so maybe we we don't list every items. I think we're just listing the major ones, but yeah, I think you should.
Well, pickleball should be, I'm gonna put, and that's a good point. We need to have pickleball in the founder stuff. I'm kind of working with the Heritage Committee. They're separate than from us and they work autonomous.
Yeah,
But they're part
part of the
of,
committee,
they're part of
so.
what we do. I will work with the Heritage Committee. The pickleball, yeah, I think pickleball should be on that, and Ann, I would hope that you would find somebody that will help run that pickleball tournament.
Yeah, we can do that. And then underneath the parade, that's just where we'll just keep the bike parade underneath the parade, right?
Yeah, parades with that, and you and, but again, Dave he's familiar with everything. Dave, you have any, I mean,
We'll just kind of
Let's
disclose
go-
what was done, but just kind of talk, is that what you're saying?
yeah, pretty much.
We'll go in detail on the
Yeah,
kickoff
yeah.
on those. When we do meet on Founder's Day, we come with ideas and stuff because we definitely do want some things, maybe additional things, so.
This year we're gonna do the greased pig. We could like paint 175 on it and have, just
I'd
kidding.
love
We'll
to
talk
do
later.
that, so. And I'd love to do the rodeo too, but we'll have the grounds for that. Tyson's got to make.
Shady
the
Lane.
shoots. What's that?
Shady Lane.
Okay.
Horse stalls there.
Yeah, I just don't have. the-
Let's,
We're getting sidetracked.
Let's do it, Dave.
Laurie, do we need to adopt those or just have that set as stated? I don't know, it's really not on there, it's just discussion. Okay. Okay, so-
Can I just, the recreation liaison doesn't have an assignment, and I can't remember
Yeah.
what you said about that. I just wanted to make sure that if you wanted someone on there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna talk with Cindy a little bit and see, she's kind of there. I don't know.
Which one?
Okay,
Let's
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't.
Let's leave that off from, it's not an overlook necessarily. It's just something
Okay.
that I would like to.
So is this somewhat fluid? I mean, we're gonna have discussions about this as we move forward.
Yeah, and there'll be stuff that comes up. I don't know what it is, but we will change stuff. These are the main kind of things that really affect the city
Okay.
and stuff that I really want to emphasize for maybe the first half. And we're going to put together probably next meeting, a work session that we'll talk about stuff that we want to do and look forward to things going forward. So that's really not on the agenda today. I was thinking about it, but it just, the agenda kept growing and growing and growing, and 10 o'clock. We'll be here before we know it, so. Be looking forward to that, and we can discuss some of those things in a work session. We usually do that on Saturday morning from 8 to 10 or something.
I've not been present for one of those.
We do that.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, we canceled that, like, these meetings and I think it would be helpful for everybody and the new council members especially to go do a tour of the city, all the, the water, look, we've done that before, but look, water, all the city owned property. And then in addition, maybe a work session. I don't know. I mean, maybe we need both. So
He actually did that when I first was elected and he had
So-
Jay take me around.
So those things will come definitely. Work session. I want to have more of those where we can just talk a little bit. It has to be published. It's a public meeting. People can come, they don't participate, but it has to be posted and generally recorded and stuff like that. But I want to just have some open and good communication. That's again, something I've kind of tasked Ann to help us. How do we do that? How do we get some of those things out from what we're talking about and have people more involved? I want to have committees from the public. I had a lot of people say, well, how can I get involved? What can I do? Well, come and do things. We've got to appoint some people for the planning commission. We need help with that. And just, there's many things that we need to do and many things we need to talk with that we just need to have some time. So hopefully you're willing to give a little bit of your time. I don't want to have a meeting, just have a meeting, but I want to have something that we can be productive and come forward and just, at the end of this 4 years or whatever we've got, we can look back and say, wow, we've made a difference. And I hope that's what we can do. So let's move on to item number 19, purchase requisition, presentation on purchase requests by elected officials.
Yeah, so this, what we're talking about, it kind of goes along with Founder's Day too. I mean, you can apply it there. So basically, none of you are purchasing agents. There's a few of us in the city that are, and so we have the right to purchase whatever. When you guys are doing Founder's Day or whatever, if you come across like, hey, I need this, we're gonna have you fill out a purchasing requisition to say, hey, this is what I need. This is the budget that it goes under. You need a W-9, all these different things, just so we know what's out there. Cause a lot of times things will come in like, where did this come from? Do you know what I mean? This way,
It's a good idea.
you guys are not, but you're gonna find out whoever is the purchasing agent over that subject that you're wanting items from. And have them sign off, and
Yeah.
make sure it's done properly.
This was brought up that, all of a sudden they get a bill from somebody, or, what is this? What's this billed? And
So there's a signature of the purchasing agent on this,
Uh-huh.
but does there need to be an additional signature of how do we determine what we're gonna spend the money? I guess if we're over that event,
You're going out for the car show, it's just like, you know what, I need to get
Yes.
gas. Do you know what I mean? You're gonna fill this out, just, so you know what, I need 5 gallons of gas, probably this amount. Do you know what I mean? It could be kind of an estimate if there's the low, and then whoever's over Founder's Day, it probably is Andrea, she'll sign off to you, okay, that's fine. Falls within the budget, we have the money.
you'll attach a receipt to it and be done.
And then you'll attach your receipt, but you wanted this before.
Yeah.
Don't go out and buy something and then say, oops.
Get
It might be
approval, get
yours.
approval before, so you know
Uh-huh.
what the item is, make sure that there's money, go, and then you can be. ready.
unless you want to donate that to the city, you can go out and purchase something, whatever you want, sure.
And.
But it's just-
Keep tabs of what's being spent, so that really at the end of Founder's Day, we have expenditures that are coming in. It's just like, where did this come from? We didn't even know it was out there. You know what I mean? But it was a legit expenditure, but.
Well, this is for anything. Again, you guys spend money, but you can't spend money.
You need to come and meet with staff and get approval, make sure the money's there,
Mm-hmm.
have the right person sign it before you even do it.
So there's multiple purchasing agents, you're saying, in the city?
Is it Heather and?
Heather, me, Andrea, Tyson, Stetson,
Okay.
Cindy.
Yeah.
Okay. got you.
department heads pretty much are.
Like
Or
the
they're
parade
over there.
would go meet with Cindy or whatever. And then she'd go meet with Andrea.
Yeah, just
We definitely, we just have to stick with certain budgets, and I think that's something that has been a little bit loosey-goosey, I think. You know, we just want to clean it up and professional it up a little bit. We don't want to have purchase orders, because that, you know, tracking purchase orders, but be able to have that attach a receipt to it and just know what's going on. I think it's just a little more professional.
yeah, that's good.
So another point, there'd be no reimbursements really. There's no need for them. Because to purchase it, you're gonna purchase it.
They're gonna make sure there's W-9s and everything's. taken care of.
We can purchase things pretty fast, I need to use a card.
But even if, you know what, I wanna purchase this, I'm gonna buy it on my credit card. Put down, you're gonna do it on your credit card, do you know what I mean? And then we'll reimburse you.
So there's
Well,
reimbursement.
If we sign off on it, like.
Okay.
But don't,
You
if,
know
but if you buy something,
Get the approval.
get the approval first. That's the only thing, because if you come in and say, well, I bought $500 worth of hats,
Is there a city credit card or is there a way for the city to purchase things?
We do have one, we can give it out once in a while, but.
Okay.
But they can, yeah, once you have this information, you can do the purchase over the phone and whatever, right? It's probably better than, I think it's great, I think it's great.
Most of the events bounce around, and so it's almost, I think, easier for us to, if we're just part of that.
Yeah.
just, I don't want to
Like,
spend a lot.
Orders a lot of the stuff when we meet together with the budget amount. She orders it. She knows the budget when we meet and things like that, so,
And as donations come in, we definitely want donations to the city.
yes.
Donations come to the city to put under whatever line item on the budget it is,
Are we allowed to accept and handle monies?
not
The
money.
checks or cash?
Like
Nothing?
the auditor said, do not use your Venmo. That is basically taking the city's money, you took the money. Do you know what I mean? And you're handing it to us, and he says there's probably not fraud there, but there is such biggest.
What about if if I get a check from a certain thing,
Yeah, bring it to us.
can I get,
Pleasant View.
can I bring that, can I accept that check? Bring it to you to cash it?
If you're not
Deposited.
You know,
depending on the circumstances, like.
If
police
it's part of the
officers,
budget, city.
utility, I mean, these guys will not take money.
Yeah.
Oh.
So be very careful when you're taking. money. The best.
Quick
thing is
question
probably
too.
Take it to the city office.
Yeah.
Does that happen often? Have you ever had that?
But
So like,
sometimes,
so Jenny Taylor, Major Brent Taylor Foundation writes a check for Founder's Day. They'll write a check to Pleasant View City. She's dropped it off and I've dropped it off, but it's always to Pleasant View City.
Yeah, too Pleasant.
But preferably to have them come here and drop it off.
we just don't want to have any
No.
idea of any wrongdoing. We don't want to make the papers for any.
Quick question.
Ann, are you still there?
Yes, quick question for you.
Go ahead.
Hey, we do have like some accounts like Lee's or Quality Quick Print, stuff like that. We still need to do this purchase requisition form, even if it's kind of like on the tab, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But there's only purchasing agents at Lee's that are approved. Tyson, Heather, whatever. We can't just go in and say, put it on Pleasant View's tab.
But unfortunately, that has been done
Yeah.
before.
Fill out one of these, you just say, "Hey, I go in and purchase some shirts, It'll be here, 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 we have this from you, we know that bill's coming.
Yeah.
So like when I go to Jones to get the shirts,
Uh-huh.
I
Just
send
buy
to you
there
ahead
in
of
the
time.
storeroom. But we know it's coming, we can match it up to a receipt.
Yeah, just, and I don't know, we didn't put in, I didn't have them put any dollar amount or anything, but just anything that's bought, get a pre-approval first.
So like, just in that situation of, say Jones or any of them, you can go vet out what we want to purchase, come get the approval for it, and then the city can make the purchase instead of a council member doing
Right.
it. I think that's a better plan.
I don't think we ever need to put it, just bill it. I think, that has to be there. That form, we'll hopefully have copies, digital
You'll have
copies,
these for you.
whatever it is, but that has to happen first, or it's gonna be a donation. And I mean that sincerely. Johnny, thank you for donating. All right, anything else on that? Laurie, we good? Everybody clear? Ann, you still alive?
Good. 10-4, yep.
Okay, I think we kind of covered item number 20, but just and maybe we can bring this up again, but I want to do something. 2021, in order for us to get some money, we need to do that for the America 250. Andrea will talk about that here in just a minute, but let's really do something fun for America 250 and PB 175. Good?
As a side note, Major Britt Taylor is planning, because of the 250th year too, and trying to involve municipalities and cities with that as well. So.
Well, so look to the, anyway, 21, Andrea.
So just in line with that, there is some funding available. And so in order to put in for that stipend that they have allotted to the cities, we have to adopt a resolution and form a committee.
What was it, 1,500? Or what was the?
Yeah. Yep.
$1,500.
So, I mean, it's easy money if we just,
Yeah.
follow a couple steps and. we
They
can
just
put
have
it
to
work.
see that there's a committee organized.
Yeah, there's something-
Yes.
It's gonna go towards something else. I forget about it.
But we don't have to finalize, just
No,
say we're
just-
going to organize a committee and we're adopting the resolution.
Yeah. So I entertain a motion to adopt that resolution 2026-A, starting that, and we'll put somebody in charge of that committee at the later date.
You wanna do it?
Go for, yeah. Mayor will, like to make a motion to adopt the America 250, Utah resolution. Is it Utah resolution? Does it come,
America 250 Utah.
so it's coming from Cox, right? Not federal government. Okay.
Right, so that's the resolution that's saying that we're gonna form a committee, and so the standard or the template was to be city named Utah 250.
So Pleasant View.
Pleasant View, Utah 250 Community Committee,
Yep.
Resolution 2026-A.
We have a motion by Marriott,
I'll second that motion.
second by Yuri, all in favor?
Aye.
Well, wait a minute, that's gonna be a resolution, dang it.
You're gonna have this down.
You got enough papers?
I can't keep track of all at once. We're gonna go,
I'm
we're gonna
lost.
use this one, 2026-A. 2026-A.
That's it.
Arrington,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Marriott,
Yes.
Yuri,
Yes.
Wilkinson.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. I think that'll be fun. Hopefully we can do something fun with that. We do have a closed meeting today. Just in lieu of time, Tyson, definitely anything from you, Public Works? I want to start including you. Tyson does so much with the city and there's so much on his back that I want his participation in this meeting to be targeted and really take into consideration the things that he says. So, and I apologize, I say that, but now I'm gonna rush you through some stuff in lieu of time, but that's something that I'm gonna expect from you is to kind of give us an update on some of the things that are going on, and so that we have, again, that communication is so that we know what's happening. So give us.
To answer the question for the audit, yes, there are projects that are still slated. With my fund, we're aware some of that will come in the next few council meetings. We're part of that, and the design of the building's in progress. So the goal is all parties are aware to meet that December 2026 deadline with audit funds. And then, yes, some of the other funds also have projects we try to save up for, but we always try to come below them. So
ARPA funds have to be spent by then, or they have to be identified? Okay.
spent. So the big hang up to that site is the wet lines, and so that's setting us back nearly 3 years, I think, litigating with the Corps engineer, so that was the big hang up with our should move further along. That made the site sort of a question, so it's hard to spend that much money and move forward on something you don't know if you're gonna be able to put it, so. NJM's working through the last 2 major parts of the project. They're still cleaning up throughout that project. Or they should have set the last box up on 3850, 900 roughly to eliminate some flooding there and do some items for the last part here. So we will see them wrap it up and get that project out of the way and start a couple more January.
Are you happy with them, what's been happening there? Is that, we good with that, or, I mean?
I don't know if that's
Okay,
maybe
appropriate for here, good.
big one.
Hey, I got a quick question for you, Tyson. There's just there's some sandbags at the top of 750. I just didn't know if that was gonna be an issue when the snow flies. I didn't know if that was part of their project. Anyway, just want to bring that to your attention.
I'll look into them.
Okay.
Or why they would be there, so that might be left over from the 800 section, but we'll go look.
Couldn't have
Okay.
asked for a better win for it.
Yeah, a lot, yeah.
Yeah, actually.
Help them.
It keeps snowing up in the mountains, so we're not doing the water issues on the other direction come springtime. Getting the offer letter out, try to get some interviews set. We could expect a full staff and then the audit. That's a big item. Working through the inspections, I think we're getting in a pretty good place with our processes, inspections, and now we'll start to get the code amendments and some other more administrative changes, time schedules set out by the state, some of that. Start seeing more of those, our public works standards, the updates for that, some of our own items, and then be
So you're making an offer to one individual and you still have two to go? Is that what they hear
Yeah.
that? Okay.
offered 1 and 2 to go.
Okay.
Good, congratulations, or hopefully, wanna get
The majors.
want to get you fully staffed for sure.
Can I make a comment? I'm not gonna, based on a conversation I've had with the mayor, I think I'll hold off on HPC, High Performance City,
Hey,
for a little while, and kind of let some dust settle a little bit here, and then we can talk some more about it. But
little thank you.
I'd still, encourage us to continue to use the tools if we can, but
Certainly.
it sounds, based on what you're telling me, you're already doing it, so.
Yeah, I definitely recognize the power and what you're offering, and thank you for that, and we're just gonna take a little break for a minute and take a breath, catch up, do some stuff, and then we'll go back in it.
That being said, if you have questions or need help, don't hesitate to reach out.
Well, it's a strength, David. I appreciate that. We always want to, I always want to improve everybody. Make sure everybody's shows their knowledge and we can go forward. So thank you for that. Tyson, good, thank you.
Stetson's not here, but we let Stetson know as well. I
Yep.
can send an email out, but.
He's ill right now.
is he?
so, yeah.
Okay.
You need to step out all of this part.
Still have business.
I would ask that you that you invite him to the closed
Okay,
meeting,
you're
because he
invited
could,
to come.
he could have some valuable input.
Perfect. Invited to stay, if you can.
Yeah.
You don't have to go yet. Andrea, do you want to talk about anything
For other
in the
business?
business or?
I just wanted to say, you called earlier today about being hacked. I got an email from Ann Arrington today. Just encourage people to look at what email address it's actually coming from, because I got some random Gmail address, but they're putting the display name as Ann Arrington. So it looks like it's from her, but it's not that they're hacking your email. It could be that they're
It's a
just,
phishing.
they're just using a random email and posing as you. But yeah, I mean, I can still have Jason look into making sure that on the back end that we're secure. But a lot of times it was funny because after you called me, I got this hi from Ann Arrington, and it was just from a random Gmail
They
address.
may not be using our account, but they're looking at our addresses.
Yes, and a lot of these people will actually go and mimic your account, but they'll change one letter. Or like Far West City was getting emails from what they thought was Jones and Associates about money,
Wow.
requesting money. And when they looked into it, it was one letter difference in the email address that they had spoofed from Jones and Associates. So just, it's one of those things that we can't avoid, but just if everybody can be aware of that. And, you know, before you respond to Steve, you know, just make sure that it's coming from Steve or Dave or Ann or.
Thank you for that. Did anybody else get it today? Yeah.
Yeah, I used to get those from Leonard all the time,
Yeah,
all
it's funny
the
that
time.
just started happening as soon as
You
as
just,
soon as you
it
start.
just says, hey, can I bother you for a minute? I need your help. I'm like, yeah, that's fake. It's just.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
never asked that.
And we get all the time emails that say it's Tyson. Can you please change my direct deposit information?
Oh.
Yeah, and so, I mean, we're aware of those, and so we watch for the email addresses, because I know if Tyson wants to change his direct deposit, first of all, he's not gonna email me, he's gonna come in and talk to Laurie. So, I mean, we have protocols and we know what to expect from our employees, but yeah, just be on the lookout for that stuff. And I mean, if someone's reporting that it's coming from your actual city email address, please let us know, because we will have Jason right on top of it.
It's gonna get worse with AI, so.
Anything else? I did. I mean, we can still talk after. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for everything on the audit. I, you know, I don't think anybody does anything. You do it. You know, you and Heather and everybody just.
Thanks, everybody, though.
But you, I feel comfortable that you know what you're doing and that's really, really good. Let's, and entertain a motion to go into a closed meeting to discuss the real estate
No, it's on.
contract?
She got it on here.
I put the,
I'll make a motion that we go into a closed meeting to discuss, acquisition of property.
I'll second that motion.
Is that a roll call or is that a
Person obtaining or lease of real property.
a roll call?
She-Mart.
Johnny,
Yes.
Dave, Ann,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Sean.
Yes.
Dave.
the second.
It was
Dave
Sarah.
and Sarah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Wow, you stuck it out.
Did you take some cookies on your way out?
That's our New Year's resolution.
Thank you for coming.